So Baruch Hashem. I'm very happy that you can see in here. As we can start, as usual, we can start with thanking God that I'm here and that you're there, Baruch Hashem, and thanking you for all your support and help, and of course thanking now all the technicians, not only one. So Baruch Hashem. Um, this is a great place to be. As a matter of fact, this is the most important place to be. This is the heart of the world. You cannot get better than this place. That's it. See, wherever I'm sitting here, it goes directly to heaven. And we have the holy temple here, and we have the same holy temple in heaven. So this is the most important place in the world. Okay, so I'm very happy to give you a little bit of a taste of the Western Wall that King David built many years ago. And there was a promise that this wall will never be destroyed. And as you know, there were many, many wars here in Jerusalem. They tried to destroy the wall, but nobody succeeded because Hashem said it will never be destroyed because King David built it. He didn't build the holy temple, but he built this wall behind me. So I just want you to know, maybe you can feel a little bit of how important this place. So people come here from all over the world, not only Jews, from everywhere. They come from everywhere, and they come here and they pray. And I don't know if they understand what they're talking about, but that's the holiness. And I wish that everybody will have a chance to come here one day and to see what I'm talking about. I took a picture not long ago from the spot that I did my bar mitzvah here in 1967, when the Israeli army just took over the part of the Kotel, the East Jerusalem, right after the war. I don't know how my parents managed to bring me here to do the bar mitzvah. It was a major, major event, very exciting. So I was born in Jerusalem. I made the bar mitzvah in Jerusalem, and I hope to come back to Jerusalem after the long time in the diaspora. Okay, so it is very important for us to remember that we have a major holiday coming up soon. Of course, you know that. The idea is to start to prepare, and if you didn't start yet, make sure you do, because there's a lot of things to do. I would say one of the most important things to do is really to buy the Haggadah that tells of the story. Not only that, to review it. Okay? You make sure that you know what you're reading and what you do step by step, and make sure that you buy all the items that you need, the product that you need for the Seder. Okay, it's very important. And you remember that you have to do it twice. So it's very important not to forget things. I know that after all these years, there's always something that either you forget or you did whatever, you're missing. So make a list. It's very important to make a list and to check it, to make sure that you have everything, of course. And, you have a special Sidur to only for Pesach, of course, for Shara Galim, that will lead you exactly for everything that you need. However, you need the Haggadah to tell you specific things, how to run the Seder night. Very important. And of course, you have to make sure that it's 100% kosher for Passover. You know, the house, the food, the dishes, everything has to be 100% kosher for Passover. Of course, you did it already many times before, but every year we have to do it again and again. Now, this is the celebrating Pesach to show that we don't forget, and we cannot forget what happened to the Jewish nation in the history, in the past. So that's why it is an obligation to do that, and of course to eat matzah. It's a major mitzvah, and every Jew that doesn't do that is really getting in major trouble with God, and it's not good things to do. It's very important to celebrate and to talk about what happened to the Jewish people during this time of the slavery, of the Exodus, the time in the desert. So, as a matter of fact, it's a big mitzvah to tell the little kids, to tell them and to make them to participate in the night, to ask questions, to be involved, because they're going to be the one to continue the chain. It's very important. Passover is a major holiday that we need to do, to remember, to enjoy, and to pass it on to the next generation. Bezrat Hashem. And they say that when the Mashiach will come, we're going to celebrate all these holidays in a very unique way. So I'm not going to tell you. You just have to wait and see. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, and so that's the preparation for Passover. Major thing to do. On the Torah portion that we were reading this last Shabbat, we're talking about the 13 attributes of mercy of God. This is something that the Jewish people learned from Moses, after Moses learned that from God. And it's working all the time, especially in the time of decree. When we say this 13 attribute of mercy, we really kind of we invoke the mercy and the pity on the of Hashem told us to remove the decree that's supposed to happen, against the Jewish people. So basically, we do this. I mean, the Sephardi people, we say that twice a week. I mean, 2 days in a week, Monday and Thursday, and then we say it in every holiday. We open the ark and we say the 13 attribute of patience, of mercy. I'm going to read it to you quickly just so you know what I'm talking about. And we say Hashem, Hashem, the God of all these attributes that I'm going to tell you. One of them, you can see it in the book on the Torah portion, Vayakhel, when Moshe Rabbeinu was assembling all the Jewish nation to tell them about the building the tabernacle and also about Shabbat. We're going to talk about it in a second. So I'm just going to mention a few of them. That it says there that Hashem is merciful, compassionate, gracious, slow to anger. He has an abundance of kindness and truth, and he preserved kindness to thousands of generations. And there's in infinity, and he forgive the people that made sins. And not only that, he is, if somebody does tshuva, real tshuva, if he does it just, because he's afraid or because of fearing God, that's good, because Hashem is going to wipe off all the sins and he's going to start from the beginning. However, if somebody does tshuva from happiness and excitement and also fear, then Hashem turns all the sins to merits. It is unbelievable. Imagine you have a debt in the bank for $1 million, and you come to the manager and you tell him, you know what? We're not only gonna make it zero here, zero balance. We're gonna give you credit for $1 million. Can you imagine how good is Hashem? Okay, and then Hashem is, as we say, it says error. He forgive us for all the sins that we do by mistakes. And one of the beautiful things is the cleanliness that we said before, that Hashem cleans all the sins if we do the real tshuva. Now, that was in the Torah portion before. Now, in this Torah portion of the coming Torah portion, Hashem is talking about Shabbat again. And Moses tells us, and he warning us that we must keep Shabbat. It is very important. And God forbid, the consequences of somebody that doesn't keep Shabbat, it's not a good thing. And that's why this kind of warning is repeating itself at least 12 times, as I mentioned before, in the Torah, to tell us that this is very serious. It's not a joke. And people think that what's going to happen if I don't keep Shabbat. They don't know what's going to happen. That's why they think it's not serious. But since we know and we learn about it. It is very serious, and the fact that the Jew doesn't keep Shabbat shows that he is really doesn't recognize Hashem and what he did um, in the creation. And this is simply heretics, and that's not a good thing to do, and to start any kind of report with God. As a matter of fact, we say that every Friday night when we sing Lecha Dodi. It says that the Shabbat is the source of blessing for everything that we need, not only money, everything, good health, good children, good life, everything that we need. So why not to keep Shabbat and enjoy the benefits that Hashem tells us? It is very, very important to keep Shabbat. And as a matter of fact, some people don't know that. If somebody doesn't keep Shabbat and he pass away, uh, he has a special, not special, he has excluded part in the cemetery. He cannot be buried together with the righteous people. They have a separate area. Not only that, they cannot be witness in case of they need somebody shomer Shabbat. So, for instance, in a wedding, they cannot be a witness to perform the ceremony, and there's some other limits that they cannot participate, especially in the minyan. Some communities, they take a guy if he's number 10, but you cannot do more than that because it's a problem. So not to keep Shabbat is really not a good idea. Okay, so and then the Torah continues with the thing that we have to basically do. Not only when we get to the Holy Land, Be'ezrat Hashem. It is Moshe Rabbeinu tells Joshua, he instructs him for everything that we need to do when we enter the Holy Land after 40 years in the desert. As you know, when we get to the book of Deuteronomy, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to talk to he did. He was talking to the Jewish people for 36 days nonstop to tell them and to instruct them exactly what to do and how to behave when they're going to enter the Holy Land. And this way, he told them very, very clearly, if you follow the commandments and the rules that Hashem, if you hear some noise in the background, it's many, many groups come here during the day. They have different parties, different simchas, then dancing, singing, whatever. There's a lot of soldiers coming here and to celebrate and to pray in the Kotel. So basically, it's busy all the time, especially when you have beautiful weather like today. And so this is the noise in the background. Okay, so we go back to Moshe Rabbeinu. He was teaching them everything that they need to know to avoid any mistakes or any complication when they enter the Holy Land, because he told them very clearly and very specifically, as long as you keep the commandment, Hashem will give you plentiful. However, if you, God forbid, will not listen, then we have to suffer the consequences. One of the things that the Moshe Rabbeinu told the Jewish people over and over again is not to assimilate with the people that in the Holy Land. And that's why when Joshua entered the Holy Land, he had a war against 36 kings that was the time. And, he won the wars and they cleaned the area. However, slowly, things happened. And, in the Jewish history, that idol worshiping one was of the biggest problems of the Jewish people. As you know, the first Holy Temple was destroyed because of the three major sins: idol worshiping, adultery, and killing. However, after the first the temple was destroyed, and the Jewish people went to 70 years in the diaspora, they did tshuva for all these three major sins, and Hashem forgave them, and He let them come back uh, 70 years after the destruction to build the second holy temple. It's unbelievable. Now, the second temple that exists at 420 years was destroyed because of baseless hatred and Lashon Hara and some other thing. And you know why we don't have the third holy temple? Because we did not fix the sin of baseless hatred, which is baseless love. So when we're going to fix this problem, then the holy temple will come to us, coming down from heaven. So you see, it's basically everything is depends on the Jewish people behavior, and that affects not only the Jewish nation, it affects the whole world, because everything that happens to the Jewish people really connect with the whole world. So, Be'ezat Hashem, I hope that we'll get the message and we'll do the right thing. So we'll get the Beit HaMikdash coming up. I see a lot of people coming here around, and it's not going to be easy. So I'm just going to ask you if you have any question to see this holy site here. I'll be very happy to answer questions.
Ravenna, thank you very much. First of all, for being with us in the homeland.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I had two doubts concerning the current parasha. I forget the pasuk, but it was saying that they had enough, garments and enough gold and jewelry
Right,
to
right, right.
right. And I was wondering on the practical sense, because many times I tend to do extra things and it turns out worse than what I intended. Is the idea of, just doing enough and not more the lesson that the one should get out of that pasuk?
Okay, there. It's very interesting question. It says in Hebrew, it says everything that try to add something on what you need to do is really making it bad thing. Sekola mosif gorea. Every time you add something, you know, that you did not uh, ask to do, not you specifically, then you might ruin the mitzvah. So it depends. Sometimes, for instance, if you give tzedakah, you can give tzedakah as much as you want. However, even here, it tells you that if you give too much, you might come to a situation that you might need money for yourself. So you see, the more you give, if you're not asked to, 10%, 20% is fine. If you can give more, that's beautiful. But not to get to a situation that you, God forbid, will need to ask money for yourself. So when they tell you to do something, you just follow the rules. If you think you can do more or better, you should check with the rabbi if that is the right thing to do. I mean, many people like to do a lot of chesed. Chesed, um, act of kindness, it's beautiful, but you cannot do that and hurt yourself. You have to know when to stop. So to help people is beautiful, is good, but also you have to think about yourself. You have to stay healthy and in a good condition.
Right, right. Yeah, because it also leads that I was thinking, after understanding that there was a creator, Hashem, and we have to fear him and love him, then I came to the realization that you have to learn how to talk to him via prayer. So, studying Tehillim, I realized that it would be better if I would understand or learn Shmuel, Aleph, and Bet. But to understand Shmuel, I have to understand Shoftim, and after Shoftim, I have to read Yehoshua. So I was reading Yehoshua, and I came to the part of the, not the parting, but the closing of the Jordan River. And I was wondering if that's the same as the parting of the sea, for the same reason, or it had a different connotation.
No, it was the same idea. The same idea, splitting the river and the ocean, the same idea. And but regarding to the learning, uh, in the learning, even in the learning, the more you do, which is better, of course, but you cannot get sick. You know, if God forbid get sick, then what's the point? You cannot learn anymore. So you have to be use the common sense to to learn as much as you can. Of course, it says "V'hagita bo yomam v'layla." You should learn and study Torah day and night, but you have to sleep, you have to eat, and you have to do other things that that you need to do. It doesn't mean that you leave everything aside and go to the mountains, be alone, don't eat, don't drink, and study Torah. And then after the 3 days, that's it. I mean, that's the end. That's not the point. So with everything, there is a logic. And to go back to the splitting of the river, yes, there was so many holy people there. It's interesting. In the time of the Gemara, the Tanaim, the big rabbis, they could do that like piece of cake to split the river. No big deal for them. They could kill people and bring them back to life. They could do many things against nature because Hashem gave them this power. So splitting the sea by Hashem, that was a major, major miracle. But of course, splitting the river also was a miracle. But then Hashem gave the people the ability to do that themselves. We see, for instance, we also saw Moshe Rabbeinu and Yoshua that they made the sun to stop. Remember that story, the Torah?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hashem give this. Okay, we have a lot of soldiers coming down here. I'll try to see if I can show you some picture of the rest of the area here. I'm not sure, but I'll try because I don't see any picture in my screen here. But I hear a lot of noises. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So enjoy the day. Any other questions?
Rabbi, I want to ask.
I can't hear.
I wanted to ask, you hear me? Yes, no?
I can't hear you.
No. Hear me now?
I'm sorry.
Do you hear me now?
I can't see you, and I can't hear the question.
The question is, do you hear me?
I can hear you now.
The question is, if Jewish people will stop baseless hatred and return to their land and return to their duty to be the priestly nation, right? And if all the nations will eventually return to the one God and realize the truth, is it possible that then Gog Magog will not happen, that the Mashiach will not appear as a ruthless judge?
Good question. Good question. Okay. It says that the Mashiach can come in two different ways. One, in a very good, happy way. That's what you're trying to say, without wars, without killing, without destructions. And one is the bad way. And everything is really up to us. If we do tshuva, if we come back to Hashem, that's what Hashem wants to see us united and worshiping only Him. And the whole thing will change. The whole thing will change. We don't have to suffer. It says the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, will come down from heaven. Everybody will be happy. But, so far we don't see much of this idea coming in. However, it can happen. It can happen, really, it can happen any day that the Jewish people will do tshuva and they can change the whole situation. Ezrat Hashem. There is a lot of the prophets talking about this in many different books, that it's really up to us, and so that's what we have to do. Ezrat Hashem. There is a prophecy at It's written in the UN that the time will come that a lion will play with the lamb with the sheep. The lion is not going to eat the sheep, and kids, babies will play with snakes. It will be peace. Everything will be peace and be tranquility, no problems. You're waiting for this time. Bezrat Hashem. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions? I don't know if I'll move the camera in a different position if you can see the whole area. I don't know. Can you see anything else?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is now it's a break time. You don't see too many people, but in 1 hour it will be crowded here. You see, they put all these standards on the side, but they're gonna put it back on the front. Okay, this is the whole thing here. All right, I hope you got a little bit taste of the holiest place in the world. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
And hopefully we see you in 3 Sundays from today.
That's Hashem.
Bezrat
Thank you very
Hashem.
much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All the best.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. All the best. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.